Welcome back to Midday. We have Charla Johnston joining us, wealth advisor with Valley First. Thanks for coming back to the show, Charla.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we're talking today about investing, but specifically socially responsible investing. So tell us, first of all, what that actually means.
Sure. So to put it simply, socially responsible investing is a type of investing that allows an investor to make money, but also make a difference.
Okay.
So it's aligning values with investments. So for example, a socially responsible fund would exclude companies that are connected to sin stocks. So things like tobacco or gambling, weapons, poor human rights practices. And it would include companies that are engaging in efforts like social justice and environmental sustainability and inclusion and diversity.
Okay, so why, I guess, is it so important to draw attention to this? And is it kind of rising in popularity?
Yes, especially there's an increase. Studies have shown like 38% increase. A lot of young investors, but not just young investors, but we see this popularity of it is increasing. I think investors know now that they don't have to choose between their pocketbook and their conscience when it comes to investing. And there's studies that show that socially responsible funds are at par or even outperform traditional funds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they tend to have a little more protection on the downside as well. So it seems like today's consumers are more socially conscious about their purchases and transactions, and they're evaluating them to make sure they align with their values. And we see this now, this logic to their banking and their investments.
Right. Yeah, I feel like there's just so much more conversation out there about everything and sort of what you're buying and what, and so that's really top of mind for people.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot more products or a lot more companies coming out with socially responsible funds and ETFs. So there's a lot more over the several years more on the market to choose from, and they're diversified and affordable for everybody. One of the funds, there's this NEI Environmental Leaders Fund. Well, it just reported out that with $10 million of pooled investments, it was able to save 380 milliliters of water or something. It was, or megaliters. It was equates to 2,900 households of annual water consumption.
Wow.
So not only that's great, and it also provided great returns. So people are realizing that they can make great returns and do better for the environment.
Can the companies be held accountable? And if so, how does that all work?
So there's an acronym, it's ESG. So it stands for environmental, social, and governance.
Okay.
So those are the three factors that companies are held to be considered a socially responsible company.
Okay.
So then the fund managers are speaking with those companies on a regular basis. They're doing research. They're working with them to make their ESG more strong. And then if they're not following the ethical standards, then they're removed from that list.
Okay.
But they're working with them. They're shareholder engagement, dialogue, research, looking at trends.
But there is a
they're held
guideline
to,
and they can
standards.
be held. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if anyone out there, so this might be the first time that some people are hearing about socially responsible investment, how would they go about getting involved in that? What would you suggest if they were looking to explore that idea?
I think firstly, identifying what issues you care about, and then doing a little bit of research on that. And then lastly would be meeting with your advisor, because they know the products and the fund companies inside and out. So they can work with you to help match the proper investment choice to match not only your social desires, but your investment goals as well.
Okay, perfect. That was informational. I learned a lot about this. I actually didn't really know much about this when you sent along this topic. It's interesting, and really interesting, I think, too, like you mentioned, that you're taking sort of what people care about and working that into their financial life too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Good. Thanks, Charla. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thanks.
For more information, there's Valley First's website, phone number on the screen there if you'd like to learn more about an SRI, talk to Charla or any of the team there. That's where you go. We're back in a moment. Stay with us.